Ontario is bearing the brunt of disruptions from Ottawa to the border crossings, but one major political figure has been out of sight. Premier Ford issued a statement that the ongoing illegal occupation and blockade happening in Ontario must stop, adding that he's confident our police forces in Ontario, the Mounties, and border services will take the appropriate steps. Ontario's Liberal leader says Ford must do more than that.
Doug Ford's been in hiding. Weak statements, tweets that were likely written by other people, that's not leadership in the midst of a crisis.
Now it's time to let the people in Ottawa get back to their lives.
That was more than a week ago when Ford last took questions on camera about the protests. One reason for Ford's low profile, an election just months away, says this analyst.
He doesn't want to necessarily come out and embrace the various activities, but at the same time, he doesn't want to polarize anybody who's sympathetic to him.
Ontario Public Health plans to recommend lifting some COVID restrictions next week, but not because protesters are demanding it.
Without any external pressure, because I don't really watch the news too much, we are absolutely committed to removing public health measures in a timely, evidence-based, science-driven manner.
Across the country, governments are shifting ground on COVID restrictions.
It is time to remove these restrictive and damaging health measures.
Alberta, the first to drop vaccine mandates. Others are resisting pressure to do so too quickly.
One of the most important things that we have now on our side is that tool of protection through vaccination.
We're still not out of this.
One epidemiologist is worried that amid the protests, trust in science is being politicized.
And as a result, we have protesters, fringe thinking that seems to be dictating some of this policy. And not surprisingly, the policy is falling along ideological lines.
For governments and police, there's reluctance to be heavy-handed with so-called freedom protests, but with supply chains being disrupted, the incentive to take action is growing.
That could give politicians far more license to get involved without being, seen to be cracking down on freedom, but instead being trying to defend the economy.
Back in Ontario, the Attorney General obtained a court order late today to prohibit anyone from disposing of or dealing with monetary donations through the Freedom Convoy and Adopt a Trucker campaign by way of the Give, Send, Go online fundraising platform. Eric Sorensen, Global News, Toronto.